This is going to be long, like I said. It's going to be very, very long. Just pay attention. When the Europeans take their natural lifestyle or their natural culture or their natural survival mode, when they live the natural state of life for their survival, which is dependent on exploitation, it sponsors the death of every other human being outside that species or outside that culture. Connect the dots. And when Africans take their normal culture is the death. And they bring them, it's the death of every other species outside their own culture. The same thing is applicable to a Chinese. If the Chinese takes their normal lifestyle is the death of other human beings outside their culture, because it is only their culture that protects them, that prevents them from being exterminated by other species. This is not something bad. This was how nature calibrated humanity to exist. We are like a group of different breed of animals in different locations. And so you begin to study the life of the Westerners. You begin to study the life of the Europeans, the people from Belgium, the people from Germany, the people from England. Nature designed the Europeans to live like predators, just like the lions. And that is why these people, they call themselves the lions and the eagles, because they are the predators. And so you begin to study the life of the lion that feeds and survives by extermination of other animals. You start to see that the lion is not wicked. The lion is trying to survive because their survival depends on the extermination of other animals. Here, the Europeans or the slave masters practice a culture of forceful land possession. Forceful land possession is a culture that empowers people to come to your land and take ownership of your land, either by omission. In fact, independent of your agreement or consent, they're going to devise a means to take these properties from you. In Igbo land, we have an idiom that says, "Obiarabonye abiabunaya, molawakwa mkpumkpu apunaya nazu." Let me explain. This idiomatic expression simply says that if Onochirobi finds himself in England today, he should not cause chaos or problem for people in England. And he should, at the same time, live in England at peace and go back home at peace without interfering with the territorial integrity, the laws, and the way of life of the England. If you are in England, you should abide by the laws of the English and stay there within the time you're going to stay there and then travel back home. You can never, Onochirobi can never go to England or Germany to fight and drag their people's land. No. But for the Ndiori Obodo to survive by nature, because they lack arable lands by nature disadvantaged them. So they put their survival mode on their ability to craftily take away other people's land. And then in the book of Psalm, chapter 2, verse 8, a certain God was talking to a man called David. He said to him, "Ask of me, and I will give you nations as your inheritance." Pause. God, in a book, was talking to David, and that God said to David, "Ask of me, and I will give you nations as your inheritance." It is just a simple promise. He was talking to a man. He called a man after his own heart. That David is a man from England, or a man from Belgium, or a man from Portugal, or a man from Germany. He said, "Ask of me, I will give you nations." I don't care what the nation is. I don't care who inhabits that nation, but just ask of me and I will give you that nation. It may be Nigeria. That nation may be Nigeria. That nation may be Ghana. That nation might be Sierra Leone. That nation might be Cameroon. That nation might be South Africa. It may be any part of Africa. As long as I can equip you to fight and conquer these people with some ammunition, just all you have to do is ask of me, and I will give you the nations as your inheritance. And you begin to question yourself as a wise man. When God has promised people that they should ask him, and he is going to give him people's country. Now you start to ask, if this God give people this country to his own people for inheritance, is there any nation that is devoid of human existence? That is the question you should be asking yourself. Sorry, I am not angry. I am just trying to pass message. Every nation has human being living there. This message simply means that God has given that man assignment to go there and fight to buy or subdue them. What God was trying to tell the person was, I want to give you an empowerment of fighting strength. I'm going to give you the skills. I'm going to give you the knowledge on how to prepare ammunition to take over, to subdue these people. I'm going to prepare you either by being crafty or by using force to take what belongs to these people. I'll give you that nation as your inheritance. Bible. Anyway, let's go on. In Psalm 2, verse 8, and then the girl begin to ask yourself, then you begin to ask yourself, since you began to grow up as a little boy or as a little girl, how many nations have your people conquered? How many nations have God asked your father or asked you to go and take as their nation? How many lands have you or your father been asked to go and occupy by fire, by force, or by treaty, or by convention? This is not in existence as long as you are an Igbo person or African. Never. It never existed. But the Bible is actually a culture of a people that sponsors their survival ideology. This is the book of a people that helps to sponsor their cultural inheritance, their cultural survival heritage. And all of a sudden, the pre begin to read the book of the Predator. All of a sudden, the pre begin to read the book of the Predator and start to feel comfortable with this book, claiming everything that a God of the Predator has promised his sons. I will give you nations as your inheritance, because I am your God. Anyway, let's visit Genesis, I think Genesis 12 from verse 1. Yeah. Now the Lord said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country to another country, that I will show you as your inheritance. You see, when I tell you people that when God say, sons of God, you are not part of it as an African. You have your own God. If you like, you believe it. If you like, don't believe it. You have your own God. Abraham is a man from England, or a man from Italy, or France, or Belgium. God that pushed Abraham knows that Abraham does not have arable soil. Get thee out of thy country. There is another country where I am taking you to. That country will become your new inheritance. God is talking to his son, Abraham, that another people's land, not an empty land though, a supposed peaceful God is giving people's properties to sons of God. And when you hear sons of God, an African man is claiming it. How many land have your God given you to inherit as an African man? How many countries have you tried to colonize as an African? Has there been any country that is being colonized by African country? The answer is no.